Warden Crixthor had overseen the Vault of Endless Night for 73 cycles, and in all that time, he had never made a mistake. The prison, carved into the heart of a dying neutron star, held the galaxy's most dangerous criminals, beings whose very existence threatened entire star systems. Mass murderers, reality warpers, hive minds that had consumed whole civilizations, and now somehow there was a human inside. The warden's 6 eyes blinked in sequence as he stared at the manifest on his holographic display. Prisoner 8847 Terran, species human. Crime, unlicensed operation of a faster-than-light vessel in restricted space. A traffic violation. This cannot be correct, Crixthor muttered, his mandibles clicking in agitation. He summoned his assistant, a nervous Plixian named Vort, who scuttled into the command chamber with his usual hunched posture. "Warden, I've triple-checked the records," Vort squeaked. The human's transport was intercepted by an automated enforcement drone. The AI classified him as a Class X threat due to unusual biological readings. By the time anyone reviewed the case, he'd already been processed and inserted into Cell Block Omega, where they kept Thrax the Planet Eater, where the last surviving member of the Screaming Dark was sealed behind. 17 layers of dimensional barriers, where things that shouldn't exist were forgotten. "Retrieve him immediately," Crixthor ordered. We can't, sir." Vort's skin flickered through several colors indicating distress. "The cell block went into automated lockdown 6 hours ago. There's been an incident. The human's name was Marcus Webb, and he was having the worst day of his life. One moment he'd been taking a shortcut through what his ship's outdated nav computer claimed was empty space. The next, he was stunned, processed, and thrown into a cell that seemed to exist in perpetual twilight. The walls were some kind of energy field that hummed with a frequency that made his teeth ache. He wasn't alone. The creature in the adjacent cell was massive, easily 4 meters tall, with crystalline skin that refracted the dim light into rainbow patterns. It had been staring at him for what felt like hours. "You are very small," the creature finally said, its voice like grinding stones. "What terrible crime earned you a place in the vault?" "I took a wrong turn," Marcus replied, slumping against the energy wall. The creature made a sound that might have been laughter. "They are mocking me. They put a comedian in the cell beside Karnath, destroyer of the 7th spiral. Your species must find this amusing." "Trust me, buddy, nobody's laughing on my end." Marcus ran a hand through his hair. "Look, there's been a mistake. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm just a cargo hauler." "A mistake." Karnath's voice dropped to something almost gentle. "How curious. In 3,000 years, the Vault has never made a mistake. Perhaps you are more dangerous than you appear, little human." Before Marcus could respond, alarms began screaming through the cell block. Red light flooded the darkness. The humming of the energy walls intensified, then flickered. "Impossible," Karnath breathed. "The containment fields, they're failing." Marcus stumbled backward as his cell wall disappeared entirely. Around the cell block, he could hear other barriers dropping. Roars, screams, and sounds he had no names for echoed through the chamber. A shape emerged from the cell across from his, something that hurt to look at, all wrong angles and too many limbs. It saw Marcus and shrieked, launching itself forward with terrifying speed. Marcus didn't think. He grabbed a piece of debris from his cell floor, some kind of broken equipment, and swung. The impact shouldn't have done anything. The creature was easily 3 times his size. But humans, it turned out, had evolved in a gravity well that most species considered barely survivable. Their muscles, compressed and strengthened by Earth's crushing pull, were absurdly powerful by galactic standards. The creature flew backward, crashing into a support pillar with a sickening crunch. Karnath stared. What are you?"
"Scared,"
Marcus shouted back. Really, really scared. More creatures were emerging now. Some flew, some crawled. Some existed in ways that defied geometry. Marcus ran, his earth-trained legs carrying him faster than should be possible in the prison's lighter gravity. He vaulted over a creature made of living shadow, slid under something with too many teeth, and grabbed a fallen guard's weapon, though he had no idea how to use it. He pressed what looked like a trigger. A beam of superheated plasma carved through 2 advancing prisoners. "Oh God, oh God, oh God," Marcus chanted, firing wildly. Earth's evolutionary gift wasn't just strength, it was adaptability. Pattern recognition. The ability to learn and improvise under pressure, because his ancestors had been both predator and prey. He found a control panel and started smashing buttons. Somewhere, emergency barriers began slamming down, compartmentalizing the cell block. It wasn't elegant, but it was working. Human, Karnath's voice boomed. The main containment core. If it fails, this entire prison will collapse into the neutron star. Marcus looked at the crystalline giant. Can you stop it? I am imprisoned specifically because I cannot be trusted with power. But you, Karnath's eyes gleamed. You are not dangerous. You are not powerful. You should not be here. Perhaps that is exactly why you can save us all. Marcus wanted to argue, wanted to point out that he was a 32-year-old freight hauler who still lived in his ship because rent was too expensive. But he looked at the chaos around him, at prisoners who could level planets now freed and panicking, and realized something. He was the only one here who didn't belong, the only one who wasn't supposed to be dangerous, which meant he was the only one the prison's defenses wouldn't see as a threat. Tell me what to do, Marcus said. 12 hours later, Warden Crixthor stood in his restored command center reading the final report. The human had manually reset the containment core, rerouted emergency power, and somehow convinced 3 of the galaxy's most violent criminals to help him re-establish the security grid. Prisoner 88847 Terran stood before him now, covered in burns, bruises, and the strange bioluminescent blood of something that had tried to eat him. Mr. Webb, the warden began carefully, on behalf of the Galactic Corrections Authority, I must apologize. Your presence here was a catastrophic error. You will be released immediately with full compensation and— I want a job, Marcus interrupted. Crixthor's eyes blinked in confusion. What? You said it yourself. This place never makes mistakes, but systems fail, protocols break down. Maybe you need someone here who's not supposed to fit, someone who can think outside your boxes. Marcus grinned, wincing at his split lip. Plus, the benefits are probably better than freight hauling. Karnath's laughter rumbled from his newly secured cell. The human stays. This place has been boring for centuries. Warden Crixthor looked at the small, battered creature before him. The human who should never have survived, who had no powers, no abilities, nothing but stubborn adaptability, and the sheer refusal to accept the impossible. Very well, the warden said slowly. Welcome to the Vault of Endless Night, Special Consultant Webb. May the stars have mercy on us all. Marcus smiled. It was, after all, better than a traffic ticket.